right, welcome back to the show. Our first guest is Chiemeka Chiedozie. Yep. He is an animal activist. It's a lot of things. Nigeria's representative for animal and environmental, certified by African Network for Animal Welfare. And he's also just really into preserving animals, making sure that animals feel the love, compassion that human beings don't give to animals. Ex-ambassador for World Animal Day Nigeria, Nigeria's representative animals for environment. This is
really, you had to laugh.
Really amazing.
Because it's weird. We are still trying to find out how we can take care of ourselves and, you know, protect our children from, you know, and then now it's animals. So
welcome to our show.
Welcome.
It's nice to bring maybe pets, dog, one of the dogs, all nice and cute and stuff like that. Yeah. But really, you are really all about the myth against, because in Nigeria, nobody really cares about animals. You see them looking all skinny and scarce. Nobody cares. So how did you even get into this line?
For me, I think it's just passion, you know. I remember when I first became an animal activist, my friends were like, Chiedozie, why are you doing this? You know?
Miss Ruth.
You're a mass communicator, you know, studied journalism at the Nigerian School of Journalism. Yeah. So I ventured into the animal projects some years after my secondary school. You know, I just felt that, you know, I need to teach compassionate. Animals deserve right to live. You know, like we have the human right too. Animals also have their own rights. Wow. So I just felt, you know, it's a passion. I felt, you know, let me take this upon myself to do this because it's a very rare project. You hardly see somebody in Nigeria talking about animal welfare. So when I dabbled into the project, you know, I started getting assistance from, you know, the foreigners, you know, to make it work in Nigeria. You know, when I saw that I've been to several schools, you know, with photos, they were very happy. They were like, how come in Nigeria I'm doing this? And I think I'm the only one, if I'm not making a mistake, that is promoting animal welfare in school. So it is, for now, part of the education. I go to different schools to promote the animal welfare. So it has not been easy anyway, but it has been grace, you know.
So amongst these, the number of animals we have, which ones are mostly abused by the humans?
I said human, well, or what?
I mean, but which are the category of animals that are mostly abused?
Especially the dogs.
The
dogs are a key major point here, you know. Of course, we know, you know, that the Calabas, for example, you know, they see dogs as their major food, and they kill dogs a lot. That's why, you know, one better way to prevent animal cruelty is if you're able to have a dog, at least any of the pets, especially the dog. Because dogs are really and mostly being abused today by everybody. And I was once in a show, you know, where in this show, you know, the producer actually gave a video of a man that hung some of his dogs and he was eating them. Oh, and the animals were crying, they were yelling. That is animal abuse. So dogs today are mostly being abused, you know, by their owners. You know, they see their meat as a major source of protein. So
so this isn't very popular here in Nigeria. I know that internationally, like, you know, they narrow this down to families that they're investigating for child abuse. The majority, like over 80% of families that are investigating for child abuse also indulge in animal abuse. But bringing it back down here, do you think that the kind of family you are in has an influence or plays a part in the way you treat your animals or your pets?
Yeah, I think so, because I remember when I started the animal project, you know, I think for me, I have a very good family. So my family actually gave me the full support I needed. Like I said, if people can fight against child abuse, you know, there should also be people fighting against the animals too. So my family has been a very good support to me. You know, when I started the project, they never gave me any discouragement. You know, I got support from them when I started the project. You know, I could remember I started the project 2010. And hopefully it's more than 10 years now, and I've been consistent doing this. So my family has been a very good support for me for this project.
How do we draw the line? Because we must feed as human beings, and there's some of these animals are also chicken, goats.
This is saying it like
so how do we draw the line, really, in not crossing that line of animal cruelty, knowing that you must also feed and eat? I frown on animal cruelty, honestly. I don't really like dogs. We've had a dog when we were growing up, but I don't like animals generally being mistreated, you know. So how do we draw the line?
Drawing the line has to do with, you know, individual, you know. Like I said, it will be compassionate. You know, of course, God has given us these animals to feed on, and we must eat them. Yeah, we must
yeah.
eat them, you know.
That's good.
Yeah, so I don't want to go on that side, you know. But when talking about animal cruelty, it has to do with the legal killings of the animals.
Okay.
When they are
Majorly.
legally, that's when it becomes animal abuse or animal cruelty.
Oh,
So
okay.
when they are abused illegally or when you kill them illegally, you know, also when you deprive them from food,
Okay.
shelter, you know, the clothing, a lot of things, even the medical treatment that they're supposed to get, and don't give it to them.
Yeah.
So it can also be neglect, it can be stabbing, it can be yelling at a dog, it can be anything. So that is animal cruelty. That's animal
those are
abuse.
Yelling
Not
at
that we
dogs,
can't
yeah.
feed on those animals.
I
But
think that naturally
the manner at
Nigerians
which we
transfer
kill them,
aggression.
that is where the problem is. That is animal abuse. We can feed on them because God has given us the power to feed on them. God gave us the dominion that we should feed on the animals. But it has to do with now the approach in which you take in killing the animals. you
Okay,
know,
so if
for
you look
food.
at the different sectors of the economy, let's talk about the agricultural sector now. I know I highlighted that. We will go to other sectors, including the fashion sector, and all, because first from the agricultural sector, a couple of these animals are reared. Like, okay, let's forget about the grass eating animals. Let's talk about the chickens. They are reared for laying eggs. You give them extra drugs for them to lay normally more than what they would normally naturally lay. Would you consider that as animal abuse? No, because you are shifting them from the normal law of nature, the course of nature, to do much more than they are naturally supposed to do. So would you consider that as animal abuse?
I'm not sure that's animal abuse. You know? Yeah, that's not animal abuse.
Are you sure? But it is internationally.
It is, you know?
It is. The way you still groom fishes, the way they harvest sharks for a particular kind of shark fin soup, or the way that they harvest exactly, mean for they kill animals for like in
PETA and
China
all
they
of
said that
that.
they killed a lot of
PETA.
those
PETA
animals
is really all
because
about
of the
that.
corona thing. They
The
use
PETA,
corona.
okay.
PETA,
Yeah,
yes.
PETA.
That one is
You know,
one.
PETA published in 2012 in their magazine. You know.
Okay, well, let's talk about the human network that you are part of. Just give us more insight into that.
Okay, the Human Global Network is a corporate organization that focuses on ensuring that the kids have knowledge about the animal welfare. So it's a corporate organization that focuses on human education.
Okay.
And we just felt the only way we can achieve this, you know, is when we go to the schools. You know, we need to catch them young. So that's the essence of the project. They're going to the schools to educate young people about the animal welfare, telling the kids that animals are part of us. They are part of our environment. You know, so we should have sympathy for them. Not just sympathy, of course, empathy for them. So that's the essence of the organization, you know. And it'll be on for a very long time. So our mission cuts across, aside from human education, we also take the kids to the zoo, to natural parks, where they can see the animal life. So not just going to their schools and then playing documentaries for them.
So I'll go to zoo and see. I'll be like, be caring for crocodile.
Okay, let's look at the issue of cattle rustling that we have in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the cattle
roga.
grazing, roga and all of that. I mean, look at some of these issues. How can we really get to the heart of it? Because it's really a big issue.
Yeah.
And you are all about animal preservation. Do not beat animals, but these cattle are causing damage to basically a lot of things.
The cattle rustling has to do with, you know, I can say it has to do with thefts. You know, people steal cattle today, you know, and then also sometimes, you know, migrating those cattle from the northern part of Nigeria to the west here, it's not easy. And alongside, most cattle might get injured. And so the way I feel we can, you know, kick against this is if government can come up with a law. Now we have animal rights law, but those laws are not effective. I must be sincere with you, and that's why you see anybody can kill animals at will. Or like in the US, if I caught for animal cruelty or animal abuse, the best will pay a fine. And the fine is up to $20,000. But if you look at the Nigerian Constitution, well, Chapter 50, the 1990 Constitution, although it prohibits that animals should not be legally killed, and that whoever is caught should be liable for 6 months imprisonment.
Wow.
Or a fine of 15 naira. To let you know that that law needs to be implemented or need to be worked upon. You can see, these are good laws, for God's sake. Even the criminal code of section 495, you know, the same thing, say the same thing. So that's why I'm telling you that every Nigerian needs to be aware of these laws.
But how can we even get Nigerians to, because you're doing stuff with younger people, but how can we get the
The
average
adults.
Nigerian?
Are you
They're the
leaving
ones.
us because you think we are already grounded in our nature of
I saw a
being...
documentary on brutal killing
Yeah.
of dogs in Calabar. The way they hit them on the head is just horrible, honestly.
But it's the same thing they do. I'm sorry, it's the same way they treat catfish. When you point and kill catfish. No, I'm saying it's the same thing. It's an animal.
Course, it's the same.
They use
Yeah.
stick and hit it on the head. They crack the skull for it to die before you now even cut to
Okay.
cook. So it's still the same.
So how do we even
thing.
encourage, but that would even lead to the conversation of how do you differentiate what is for consumption, what is a wild animal, and what, so that,
Yeah.
before I go to that, because these issues are,
No, how do we even handle...
how do we
This information is hurting.
how do we help adults to not abuse animals? What can we do? What do you think you have been doing, and what can be done? It's a general problem.
So what can be done is, when you see anybody abusing the animals, whether directly or indirectly, yours is to speak up and tell the person, don't do this. or call the local animal control.
Oh wow, Nigeria!
Don't use
That's
the dog
what
now.
We don't have active animal control in
Or better
Nigeria.
still, you can report such a person, to the nearest police station. So I think so, Tell you what I've been doing, and it has helped me a lot.
Oh,
I
so
love
you've
any
actually been
cases of
reporting.
animal abuse.
You've been reporting.
One time I went to see my sister, she had a dog, So one morning I came out from the house. That's why the dog had a cut in his ear.
Oh,
And the flies were disturbing the dog. I was supposed to stay 3 weeks, but I stayed a week. Because each when I come out and I see the state of that dog, I'm not always happy at all. So I came back home and I told my sister, you have to please make sure you treat this dog. So it has to do with you, the passion. Just have start from, The reason why I'm even taking it to school is because I need to catch those children young.
so they don't
So that
indulge.
when they grow up, they'll not become animal abuser.
Yes.
That's about number 2. They'll not become even cruel to human beings. The only way you can reduce human killing, even human killing, kidnapping, is when everybody begin to have this feeling for animals. If you have a feeling for your dog and you want to kill your dog, you will not want to kill your next fellow human being because you're a compassionate person. So let's start from there. That's to do with individual. If you start from there, Nigeria will be free from kidnapping, will be free from ritual killings.
There's a step in the right
There's a
direction.
stepping stones to, it will reduce it, when everybody is enlightened, is aware about, animal cruelty. It will reduce
Thank you
human
so
exploitation
much.
and
I mean,
killings.
it's really nice
It's-
talking to you. I mean, because at the end of the day, the word of a life is important. The word of a dog, because a lot of us have pets growing up.
The
Some
life
have
of a
cats.
dog is important.
Is important. Animals
Even
have
if the
rights.
dog is walking on the streets of Ajegule, don't just be kicking it. Come on, come on, come on.
And abroad,
No.
people, they frown about these things. You can't attack a dog anyhow.
No, that's why
There are
sometimes they
laws
just go and then they
abroad.
take those dogs to a shelter or even the
Dogs
animals
have
to
shelter. There's animal
But
control.
we don't have,
Yeah, we don't
animal
have
shelter
proper
here.
We don't have
yeah.
that.
Except we go to the zoo. Even the zoo we have are not cheap, okay?
The lions in Nigerian zoos are skinny.
Yeah, and they are hungry because they are not feeding
It's
them.
because they are still locked up in an environment
Yeah,
that
that's why
isn't theirs.
2
That
weeks
is
ago,
even still cruelty.
The last one was here. No, just 2 weeks ago I was at Lufasi Park,
Fancy Park.
owned by Desmond Magic Odumi. I met with him and we discussed together. If you go there, those animals are in their natural habitats. Even the
built there,
Lekki
yeah.
Conservation Center.
Yeah.
The animals are free to roam about.
Yeah.
So and that is what
How
I
it's
think we
supposed to
should
be.
do.
Unfortunately, we
we
need
are
to
supposed to
really
be doing.
go.
But when these animals are killed, like a dog, imagine you chain a dog with a padlock. That is animal abuse.
But that's the choke. Okay, you have to get the normal choker, not the chain
see,
that
those
they
animals.
Okay, we
they
understand.
are going through
It's okay.
suffering.
We need to really
Thank
wrap
you
up.
so
We'll
much, sir.
definitely have you again on the show.
Yeah,
do
we'll talk
some
more on
campaign
this.
about this and all of that. So guys, there you have it. Please don't abuse your animals or
Dog, cat,
dog, cats or cats.
bird,
Bird, everything.
pigeon, please.
So, but with the next phase